Hello, how's it going?
Good, how are you? I'm Ben.
And hi, it's Rachel.
Hey guys, thanks so much for taking the time and talking to me, especially on a Sunday, especially with a little toddler. It's greatly appreciated.
No worries.
So I didn't realize, and I guess before I go into anything else, thank you for giving us the opportunity to take a look at Last Girl Standing. It was an absolute pleasure, so thank you.
Oh, no worries. No, thanks for watching, man. Thanks for enjoying it.
Now, I didn't know that I had actually seen any of your previous work before, but it turns out I had. You guys worked on the Depixelated series a while back, right?
Yeah.
You knew, how do you know about that?
I'm just trying to do a little bit of a background search, and it turns out like that, you guys did the BioShock and Max Payne and all kinds of other things, but that BioShock one blew up, so I remember seeing that.
Oh, I didn't know it blew up. That's cool. I especially didn't know they traveled, because, well, wait, you guys are in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, yeah. No, I mean, do you go to game trailers? Or did you?
Well, maybe not. I think I remember it like going around like I think IGN or Polygon, some guys like that might have been sharing it around at some point. I came across it sometime.
Okay, cool. Well, no, that's awesome, man. Thank you.
So, how exactly do you move from something like that, which is fun and bouncy? How do you take the turn and go into Last Girl Standing?
Yeah, that's the. I mean, if you look at the Depixelateds, yeah, like I mean, the BioShock one, yeah, was that kind of actiony stuff. But like, there's another one we did one for Far Cry 4, which was pretty intense, and not very many people like. It wasn't one you passed around because I think it was kind of the last girl standing of first-person shooters.
Okay.
But like, I mean, that one I think was more me showing like, yeah, just kind of maybe where I wanted to go. And I mean, I love comedy, I love action, like those things just take budget. So I mean, yeah, like we decided to go with a more character. I think Last Girl Standing came out of, yeah, just the need to keep the budget down. So we focused on trying to do something that we had access to, which was good actors. So we're like, okay, we have good actors, so let's try to write something that capitalizes on them. And so, yeah, I think it kind of sprung out of us wanting to do something a little more drama character piece, but still within the realm of horror because, I don't know, we just love horror movies, so we wanted to stay in there.
Sure. Rachel had mentioned in email that you guys recently had a baby, and immediately after that, you guys started doing the writing and I guess production work. How does that work exactly?
I mean,
we've always been working on things. So once the Depixelated web series was over, we knew we wanted to do a feature.
I mean, that was kind of why we kind of was like, okay, let's stop those and evolve and go to the next step.
And that helped us because we were doing a short every month, and so we met a lot of people around town, actors, crew, and everything. So we felt really good about, knowing we'd have the resources to make a feature, at least on the personal, like people level resources.
We were working on a sci-fi horror thing right after Depixelated, and then that was just going to be too expensive, and then we discovered that we were pregnant.
Yeah.
and then it kind of like, it was like, it kind of kicked our butts and made us be like, okay, if we want to do this, we got to get serious about it. And that's when we kind of were like trying to tool around with like, how do we make something that's more within our means, that like we're not waiting for someone to give us money, we can do regardless. And so and then we bounced ideas around for a month or two, and then Arthur was born. Arthur Merlin.
Nice.
And he was born and
in October.
And that's our month that we only watch horror movies. We watch horror movies all year round, but October we refuse to watch anything else. And so we're stuck at home with a newborn infant because you can't really do much. And so we're watching a bunch of horror movies because we're watching more than usual. And then that's when just one night we just flipped on AMC was doing their Friday the 13th marathon, and because we were just like, watching so many, we just flipped it on while we're eating, and we just caught the end of Friday the 13th Part 3. And, like, coming in at the end and then going forward, I was kind of like, wait, it's interesting to start here, and you see the girl get carted off, stark raving mad, and I was like, what happens to her after this? And it was only, I've seen that scenario a billion times, but it was coming in at that moment and then thinking, well, what if this was the opening of the movie? And I kind of just blurted it out loud to Rachel, and then we just spitballed it, and we instantly, like, fell in love with it, and it kind of stuck with us. Like, we kind of, like, outlined it that night. And then, then I pitched it to a couple of the actors I was interested in working with, and they loved it. And it was just something that, people latched onto quickly. And so that was the sign that I think we had something. It was like, okay, people really get this really fast, and it lights their eyes up. So
yeah, it was it's a bit jarring at first, like whenever without any spoiler territory or anything like that. Like when the movie starts, it's a little jarring because you're in the thick of it, right?
Yeah, it was an interesting thing. I call it my Bond opening for
sure. Yeah.
He was like, okay, we're gonna come in on the end of one adventure, but yeah, it was. As horror fans, I think pick up on it pretty quickly. Like, okay, I know where I am right now. And yeah, that was the idea, is just to I wanted it to feel like you just turned the channel and found this movie.
Yeah, and it absolutely does. So you've mentioned that you're both of you are big horror fans. And I'm sure you've noticed, but this whole dramatic horror little subgenre is kind of on the rise right now. What kind of things, what kind of movies or films did you watch, maybe get some motivation from? What kind of vibe were you going for? Because even though Last Girl Standing is a horror movie, it's not like your traditional horror movie by any means.
I think something that I pitched to Rachel and she latched onto, I was like, what if we did the Short Term 12 of slasher movies? Which, have you seen Short Term 12?
I haven't, no.
It's this really great, was it Brie Larson?
Yeah.
It's just this real
an indie drama.
Yeah, just this indie drama. It's fantastic. We watch a lot. We watch a lot of movies in general.
Sure.
That was one that I guess it had come out like the year before or something. And it was always on our top list of recent movies. And then after kind of coming up with the idea of The Survivor, I was like, oh, it's kind of like Short Term 12, but with a slasher instead of parental abuse or drug abuse.
Right.
But in the actual horror genre, we've been following A Horrible Way to Die is always one that we've gone back to because it's such a contained, dramatic story, but it has that horror elements, or The Battery, or
Ben Wheatley's work. We love.
We've looked at all those at their first movies and just how they've been able to effectively tell a great story on small budgets. So that was kind of, we've tried to do a lot of research, and then we watched more of Friday the 13th stuff just to get that. So we had a good balance of what people are used to and maybe some of the more indie drama stuff. So
yeah, and balance is a good word, because you don't necessarily. A lot of these indie drama horror, you kind of forget, they forget the horror aspect of it until maybe the very final act, or the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then it really comes in nice, and sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not.
Right.
But you guys in Last Girl Standing, I thought it was interesting because you're able to really have that good story, have that good character development, and anytime that you might start to lull off as a viewer, think, okay, it's time to get comfortable, you're able to kind of give it a shot in the arm and be like, oh wait, this is still a horror movie, don't forget.
It was something, a lot of those movies that I love, those drama horrors, but I call it I don't think they're things my dad would like to watch. My dad watched a lot of movies, but it just as an example, but that was a conscious choice of I wanted to keep the horror. I wanted to keep the horror element more than some of the the other indie horror stuff out there. And yeah, a little more present, I guess, or just like, yeah, it's just under the surface, and it kind of peaks up a few more times than a usual indie horror drama.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So kind of going back to like the pixelated, you mentioned the Far Cry 3 one, which I saw just a few minutes before I called in to you guys.
Okay.
And yeah, that's by far like the darkest, grittiest one out of all of them. But a lot of them, you know, like the Max Payne, you know, there's like a big Nerf gun war,
Yeah.
which was really awesome. But with Last Girl Standing, we get pretty graphic on this one.
I mean, it was just a thing we always wanted to get gory, but like those shorts, we had to make those shorts. We were doing them once a month for 15 months, and so like, yeah, gore was never like a big thing in those.
And that takes more time. We would do one night shoots for all of those, so we just didn't have the time to do a lot of gore. And but in the process, we met a couple guys in town that do great gore stuff, and we wanted to work with them, and this was the perfect opportunity on Last Girl, because we always wanted to utilize them like that, so it was fun for us, I think.
I mean, yeah, we've had those guys in our pockets for a while, and yeah, they're in our pockets. No, I mean, they're part of our team, and yeah, they've always bounced around and done weird things, even if it's not total gore, but they've helped with a bunch of things in the shorts and various facets, so like, Last Girl was just kind of giving them a little ability to flex. And I mean, yeah, like us too, again.
And they did, because something that just drives me crazy, you know, just watching these films day in and day out, is, you know, the rise of computer-generated gore and blood and stuff like that. And I might be wrong, maybe it's just really well done, but I don't think I spotted, I think like everything that I saw in Last Girl is completely practical. Or if there was computer generated stuff, I sure didn't notice it.
Yeah, no, there is not one computer generated gore effect. The only thing we did was like a rotoing of taking out someone breathing, which isn't really a computer. That's like just a masking.
Sure.
But when I was doing long takes and asking people to be dead for a couple minutes, like they breathed every now and then. But yeah, there's no gore, no CG gore or anything in the movie. That was we did a little Kickstarter just to help ensure. Granted, I mean CG effects isn't any cheaper, but it was just we just
don't like CG effects.
Yeah, especially on small budgets. Yeah,
nobody does.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. It's funny that they keep getting used, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. The Walking Dead show gets away with it all right, like for the most part. But again, like on a TV schedule, but they do so much awesome practical work too that I give them a lot of credit. I'm a little lax on them when they do the CG gun hits and stuff.
So, I know the premiere is coming up, right?
Yes.
Yep. What all is that? Are you only going to one festival? Do you plan on taking it on the road anywhere else? What's the screening situation looking like right now?
So right now, obviously, it's FRIGHTFEST on the 31st, and then we hope to be taking it around. But we've submitted to a bunch of festivals. As I'm sure you know, October is heavy on the genre festivals around the world.
For sure.
And we just haven't heard back yet, so we are hoping to be.
Yeah, we're hoping to play a few more places around the state. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're hoping to play at least once in the States, but
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we're hoping to do a few more, and then. I mean, yeah, nothing's in stone with the release. We want to get it out there just in one way, shape, or form. And there's a lot of new avenues for filmmakers right now to get their films out there, which I'm excited about. So it'll hopefully be sooner rather than later that people will be able to get a hold of it in an easier fashion.
Sure.
Because I don't want to sit on it and like be waiting for a year and a half for a distributor to finally find the window to put it out in.
Right. That's always frustrating as a horror fan out there when you hear something's doing so well in festival, but you got to wait a couple years to see it. So
yeah, I mean, look, You're Next. I mean, I was at Fantastic Fest when You're Next played, and then after it played once, the distributor yanked it because they wanted to keep it. And they just bought it, and then they came out 3 years later, I think.
That was long.
That was a really long one.
Yeah.
So yeah, our movie is so small in budget that it frees up our distribution avenues, because we're not beholden to any money people, because this is all our money. It's everyone involves money and time. So that frees us up and just getting it out there. My thing is, yeah, on this first movie, I want people to see it.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, like I would rather people find our movie and see it and build an audience so that hopefully we can make another one. That one, takes a little longer, but it's because it's a little more expensive, but it'll hopefully be more worth it. But again, right now, this one being so small and just such a family-made movie, we can kind of hold the cards and like decide our future.
Yeah, and you keep mentioning small budget and family movie and stuff like that, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this is a very, very attractive film, and just from my personal knowledge, what kind of gear were you guys using to make this happen? Because, I mean, it does look fantastic.
Thank you very much. Well, yeah,
We had a good DP.
DP is always saving grace. But no, we shot on just a GH4 Panasonic, HD SLR.
Yeah, I'm familiar. That's incredible. I would have never thought.
Yeah, no, we just shot on that, and we had
Minimal lighting, right?
very minimal lighting. We had we didn't have a truck or anything. It's just we worked out of our cars what we could carry for equipment in our cars, and I mean, it helps, like, the laundromat scene or the laundromat location. Our DP used to work there.
Okay.
That, number one, that was how we got in there. Number two, he understood the lighting in there because he spent so much time in there.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of putting all of us, just trying to we tried to put ourselves in situations that we could look decent in.
And finding good locations helps, like the whole art gallery. Like, it's a really cool place with, like, most of that art was already up there, and that wood shop and everything was the artists. So we took advantage of what we could that we didn't have to make ourselves, which was...
Yeah, that was a
I think
key.
that helps.
In production design we had to, because we have no money, we had to find places kind of that already had that vibe we were going for. We can't build a bar, a CD bar. We had to find a CD bar to shoot in.
Well, very impressive. Very impressive.
No, thank you so much. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, no, it's hard for me to distance myself because I'm always like, oh, that's just down the road. I hear when people that don't know anything like, no, it looks great, it looks huge. So thank you so much.
So let's imagine that either you guys self-distribute or it gets picked up by a distributor or you hit up a whole bunch of film festivals. Let's imagine that everyone loves it. It's well received. What comes next? Do you stay in the horror genre? Do you spread your legs? Do you travel a bit outside? What happens afterwards?
I think we're gonna probably stay in horror for the immediate future, and if we ever venture outside horror, we'll come back pretty quickly because it's kind of just it's what we watch a ton. It's what we like. The other script that we have right now would be like a sci-fi horror, but the science fiction is kind of downplayed and the horror is kind of in the forefront of that one. So I don't know. For the immediate future, I think we're gonna just swim in the horror pond for a little bit because we enjoy it, and I want to play there more. I have again, after doing one, it's like I learned so much. I want to do it again to exercise some more.
Well, we are glad to have you. So stay as long as you'd like.
Thank you very much, man. That means a lot. I didn't want to. Someone brought up in one of the other interviews. They were like, "Yeah, I've talked to a couple directors, and they just did horror just so they could get money, and then they're gonna go do other movies, like
That's
other."
the way it works all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and that just threw me off. But I guess that works for people, but I don't know. I'm just like, I like horror. I want to do horror.
Well, that's great news. Ben, Rachel, thank you very, very much for letting us check out the movie. Review will get posted as soon as you guys tell us the review is good to go. Best of luck at festival, and thank you again for taking the time and chatting with us on this Sunday.
No, thank you very
so
much, man.
much.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for the kind words.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Bye.